Big Oz.
Next is from Eddie Hogan. The subject was Disco is right and Kenny agrees. The first time I listened to this podcast was way back when Vader did those interviews, and ever since then, on every single episode, Disco has been saying two things. Number one, wrestlers need to, and number two, wrestling TV needs more storylines. When Disco would say this is a criticism toward AEWs, the fan base basically wanted blood, calling him a troll and a hater. Well, I guess Disco can take a victory lap because Kenny Omega himself has now started saying exactly the same thing. Here's Kenny talking about how the in-ring style needs to change, and there's a clip. Let me see some what culture. Kenny Omega says wrestling has to be careful. It says a physical. The AEW star is currently off screen, ready to return. Told viewers that the business needs to be careful. It doesn't move too far away from storytelling for the sake of quote physical vessels that are supposed to throw each other at the wall until everyone goes splat and doesn't get up again. Unquote. Omega also said that's the kind of wrestling I can't do anymore. And but yeah. So I guess he's basically saying he's smart. He's a guy that needs to be saying this because he's looked at in this industry as like one of the top guys. Here's Kenny talking about how wrestling needs more storylines. This is from Fightful. Fightful, he says, that is okay. Kenny Omega will appearing on the CEO Gaming Twitch board. Omega discussed his physical abilities might decline after the injuries when it was noted to him, quote, "You don't need good knees to tell a good story," unquote. Omega agreed, saying, "That is why I was confident doing everything throughout the Hangman story. The story is about human lives. It feels wrestling's progressed, it's become less about those a lot. If we just become physical vessels that are supposed to throw each other at the wall until everyone goes splat and don't get up again, that's the kind of wrestling I can't do anymore. And when I have to know that it's time to pack it in. We're going there already, and there are people trying to convince you that those are the best matches and 5-star matches. We have to be careful." Omega concluded saying the good stories aren't impossible to tell, but the business is changing. Quote, it's not to say it isn't impossible. I just feel this entire generation is gearing towards that one side of things. Now that the athlete in wrestling is of a higher level and there's less emphasis on character and physical presence, as difficult as it is to be that athletic daredevil in the ring, we have so many gifted natural athletes that it actually is the easier route. Peak satisfaction for a lot of fans is when they do those storylines and when those storylines pay off. Maybe some fans have forgotten about that, but I'd like to have the chance to remind them when I come back while hopefully still being able to deliver in the ring. I mean, I can't argue with anything he said. He's absolutely spot on, 100%.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with any of that. The guy's last sentence is, so Disco, what do you think about Kenny Omega say that you and Jim Cornette have been right this entire time? I don't think it's not, bro. He doesn't listen to this show, and he's just talking about some of the basic criticisms of professional wrestling and why the fan base isn't growing. Is like, we need more compelling storylines, and guys need to be more, more character oriented than thinking about going out and what's the next thing I can do to top the thing that was done before, which is very scary to watch sometimes, And like I said, storylines, car crashes in the ring. We have enough evidence to show that those do not draw as much as compelling storyline. All right, you got any comment on that?
No, I agree.
Yo, what up? This is Conan, and I host Keeping It 100, my co-host, Disco Inferno, unfortunately.
Well, I'd say you're my co-host.
Listen, every Thursday here on Spreaker, we talk pro wrestling, sports, movies, music, TV, pop culture, and some politics. It's everything the rest of the pro wrestling podcasts are not.
Tune in to hear myself, the superior one, educate and inform.
Tune in to hear me bury Disco.
That's very disrespectful.
Join us every Thursday on Spreaker and keep it 100. Boom!